Hey, good afternoon. Time to talk about week 6. So, before I forget, I want to make sure you know that I am at a conference next Wednesday through Friday, which is the 28th through the 30th. I will regularly check email and respond. I just probably won't be instantaneous in my responses next week. So in this week, it's chapter 6 of Asking Right Questions, and the question this time are, what are the value and descriptive assumptions? So I want you to focus in on pages 58 through 66, which are value assumptions. We're going to spend more than 1 week on this chapter, possibly 3 weeks, but for sure 2 weeks. So this week, just focus in on value assumptions. So the journal post prompts as well as the quiz focus in on value assumptions. So one of the things I ran across this morning as I was coming to work was a billboard for Tom Emmer's campaign to remain our U.S. representative. And it was something, I don't remember the exact wording, but it was something like standing for our Midwest values. And this is a great example of a couple of things. One is ambiguity. And because we don't know what are Midwest values. And like you can even debate either Midwest or values as being ambiguous. So I thought that was interesting. And then in this chapter, on page, I think it's 63 or so, they even give you a note of caution that just because somebody's in a group, so just because somebody lives in Minnesota, doesn't mean that everyone in Minnesota shares the same values. So you have to be careful about thinking that a group, everyone in it is alike. And that's kind of just good practice throughout your life. Is not to assume that one member of a group represents the group or that everyone in the group has the same thoughts on a topic. So, the other thing that we're working on this week is we're digging in a little bit more into finding academic sources. So I'm trying to kind of build towards where eventually you're going to be doing some searching for some resources, culminating in the final project, which is an annotated bibliography. But, we'll get our way there. We'll just do a little bit each week. So, the assignments for this week is the same thing, quiz. Although coming up soon, I'm going to do one where it's not a quiz, where it's an actual sort of assignment that you fill out. But for now, we're doing a quiz this week. Again, the questions are in the content area. Same sort of short answer, multiple choice. I want to stress this because I've had a couple of questions on this. The ones where you have to type in the answer, D2L does not automatically grade those, so I have to go back in and manually grade them. So sometimes your score will look really low when you submit the quiz. You haven't done anything wrong, I just haven't finished grading it yet. And I don't touch the quizzes until the day after they're due. So if you finish them if they're due on Monday, the earliest I'm going to look at them is Tuesday. So anyway, in this quiz, we have questions around finding academic sources, some more practice on paraphrasing. So this time I'm giving you a paragraph from an academic journal with some potential paraphrases, and you're going to tell me if they're acceptable or if you think they're plagiarism. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the quiz, there's a quick couple of passages on value assumptions where I'm asking you to identify the conclusion in the passage as well as the reasons listed in the passage, reasons for the conclusion that is, and then assumptions that are necessary, value assumptions that are necessary for the conclusion to work. Okay, and then this is a journal week, so I've given you a couple of questions around values in that. Anyway, let's have fun this week.